Yeah, welcome back. This is us back now. Well, there's video now because I fixed the thing. Except it's
video.
not very. It's whatever. It
If
works.
If you turn and face more, sort of facing me and shit, that
I mean, I can't
it's still out of frame. We really, ideally we need
zoom out. I'm gonna check them out.
Ideally, we need the camera right there. Actually, we might be able to do that because those two legs can straddle over between that computer. That way, we can get out. Hang on, let me just do that. Stand by for annoying noises.
You mean that?
And that way we can have it centered relatively, and it's not wide angle, but whatever, it's good enough.
I'll see if I can find that lens for the next show that makes it look wider.
Is it work off that one or a different one? Okay.
It works on that. You blue tack it on, but it works.
Yeah.
I'm quite out of frame, but if I'm leaning in to talk or read an article on that monitor, then we're cool. So
yeah, it's good. It's like, it's not ideal, but it's what we have right now. And
it doesn't really matter. Like, we weren't really planning on having videos just for Rave because he keeps saying that.
Oh yeah, actually, just give me a second.
Hi, Rave.
Yeah, hi, Rave. Just give me a second. Let's see if I can try and juggle power supply units. Yeah, let's monitor that, like, because we can get that to stage that it's like. Okay, can you put that back?
What?
Can you get the frame?
Okay.
So I can just juggle the frame and stuff. Yeah. No. And just sit where you would if you were doing this.
That's what I'm doing. This is where I'd be.
Much.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's just mostly just the angle, like, because you like to sort of look at your things. That's good enough, I think. That is pretty much as good as it is likely to get anytime soon. If I'm sitting,
yeah.
Then it seems closer somehow.
Well, it is slightly closer than it was there, but just stop fiddling with it. It's fine.
Right, you know?
Now that you've pushed it back, the door won't open again.
Yeah.
Just stop fiddling with it. It's fine.
It has to be right. Come on. Okay. I think we're good. We're good. Enough. Good enough.
We're being kissed by Rave through the internet. Because that works.
Well, as long as he's a clean individual. Which I think he is a very clean individual. Okay. Yes.
So what article are we going to do next?
I don't know. We have, Huffington Post weird news, which just makes me cringe sometimes.
Yeah.
And we
I'm
also
not a huge fan of the Huffington Post, especially after they were bought by, who was it, like Verizon bought them or something.
Is that what fucking happened to them? Jesus Christ. Actually, later I do want to read some things off of the weird news segments on the Metro and the Mirror, because some of them are just so fucking cringe or mean, just fucking mean. I think we can do a little bit of Florida Man. How's that sound?
Rave likes Florida Man.
Can you move that window over slightly? I just want to know when I'm in frame. I'm just a pain in the ass.
I can't really see the thing we tried.
Right, okay. If I sit about here, that's cool. I don't like being in frame anyway, so that's enough. Now, we're working out the kinks. Right, what do we want to read? Shall I just read a few of these off the Twitter and we decide which one we want to hear?
Whatever. Yeah.
Florida man can't produce driver's license for police. Shows them mixtape.
You'll need to send me the link so that I can open it on the thing.
Right.
Or just post it in here.
Florida man can't driver's license for police. Shows them mixtape instead. Is that good enough?
Yeah, that's good enough.
Or Florida man says he killed cross-dressing voodoo priest because he was threatening him with magic. I think.
Just pick one at random.
That one, I think we read. And I'll just drop that article link in here in Telegram to be a pain in the ass. Sorry. After killing of. I thought they said killing off. You see, I'm really very bad at this. After killing off cross-dressing voodoo priest, Miami-Dade man pleads guilty. During a heated quarrel in North Miami-Dade, Malherbe Francois gunned down a cross-dressing voodoo priest when the man supposedly threatened to kill him. The priest's weapon that night, Francois claimed, some sort of magic powder in a bottle. Although he could have claimed self-defense at trial, Francois this week accepted a plea deal, admitting to the murder of Bogle Bazeles in February 2013. Francois, 24, must serve 15 years in prison on his conviction for second-degree murder. For prosecutors, they knew a jury might have real questions about whether Francois legally acted in self-defense in killing his older lover, even though the man did not have a weapon, such as a knife or a gun. Lover? What? I'm lost. Are you?
I wasn't paying enough attention because I was looking for more background music.
The case was also complicated by the religious undertones weaved into their story, prosecutors say. These concerns were discussed with the next of kin, who agreed with the negotiated plea. The articles are never as funny as the titles. The Haitian voodoo religion, which blends Catholic beliefs with the worship of
Maybe we should just skip to another one that is actually interesting.
You know, why don't we just fucking read the title? No.
Just sit and read the Twitter account. Just like, here's a thing a Florida man did. Here's another thing a Florida man did. Here's another thing a Florida man did.
Yeah. Okay. Officers ask driver for his ID. He shows them his new rap CD, cops say. Okay, this is better. After being pulled over on suspicion of reckless driving in front of Delray Beach High School, police officers asked for Volvic Louis Jean Jr.'s driver's license. Instead, police said he pulled out something else with his name on it. His homemade rap CD. Jean Jr., 18, was arrested on Wednesday by the Palm Beach County School District. Police said Jean Jr. pulled up to the Atlantic Community High School in Delray Beach just before 3 p.m. on October 28, along with 2 other cars. They sped into the school's bus loop, narrowly missing students being dismissed from school, police said. Officers in a golf cart followed the cars, pulled up into the center of the road, and forced the 3 cars to stop. When they walked up to Jean Jr.'s car, they asked him for his driver's license. He pulled out his new CD. One of the other people in the car yelled out to the officer that they were just at the school to pick up a friend. According to the arrest reports, the officers said they recognized some of the people in the cars, including Jean Jr., as former students. The cars peeled out into the road and fled the scene, almost hitting more students as they left, according to the arrest report. Jean Jr. is charged with fleeing and eluding, reckless driving with a suspended license, and trespassing on school grounds. He was released from the Palm Beach County Jail on Wednesday. So, yes, you know what? I think I'm just going to read the first few lines of each Florida Man article and rattle them out.
We really need to sort out background music for the future shows. I'm not going to bother looking through it because I can't pay attention to what you're saying.
I remember we used to play like electric telepathy. I wish there were some way we could mute the stream through our voices through our headphones, but still have background music, and everybody else could still hear our voices, because the latency is killing me. Is that even possible?
Yeah, but it's too complicated to set up now that we're already started. So
well, I'll just try and ignore it. Anyway.
Plus, we wouldn't be able to hear each other over the music.
Well, I just do this. I guess you can't too easily if you're on.
Well, I can, but it doesn't. Like, it's very uncomfortable for me. Yeah. I just like to have them on properly.
So my headphones just sort of slant right out of the way that way, which is pretty awesome. Anyway, Florida man steals $1,900 dog, trades it for crack. Florida authorities are searching for a $1,600 Yorkshire Terrier that they say a man stole from a pet store and traded for crack cocaine. Largo police said surveillance at the store, all about puppies, shows a man placing the dog down his shirt and leaving. A tip led...
She's like, whoop! Bye, dog.
Yup. A tip led detectives to 38-year-old Wayne Jr. Barfield, who was arrested Friday and charged for grand theft. The release says Barfield traded the dog for crack and cash in St. Petersburg. It's not clear where the dog is now. Police said Barfield wouldn't tell them who he traded it to. He's a loyal junkie. The Yorkie is microchipped, and veterinarians will be alerted to the dog's status. All About Puppies is offering a $1,000 reward for its return. Barfield was being held on more than $5,000 bail. Yeah, do you want to read one? I mean, we got the link here, right? Oh, you're reading biscuits. Well,
Chocolate digestives.
I'm just gonna just drop you the link here. Yeah, that's what we love. I mean, you know, someone out there, like, okay, I don't know if our audience is large enough to include a food fetishist right now, but if it does, then I'm sure you're going to love this. Yeah, that's disgusting. Please stop. Oh god, you know, it's always awful when you have to sit around.
Hey,
the
like,
table and...
this is going on YouTube, so eventually some food fetishist is going to find it.
True.
Eventually.
To all food fetishists out there, this is
Well, I have 2 notifications apparently.
This is that. Yes, yes you do. Ah. Well, to anybody listening, hi. This is kind of a rambly segment. We've lost a little bit. Oh god.
A wide shot reveals Florida man also debating as one of the fucking candidates for the election.
Oh. Wow. He's a Floridian, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, the disturbing thing is that Thomas Ligotti, the American horror writer who was responsible for Conspiracy Against the Human Race and Teatro Grotesco, is a Floridian. He is Florida man. He is a Florida man. No, but he's far too sophisticated and above all those sorts. Anyway.
Driver gives fake name to deputy name has a DUI. Or fake name has a DUI, rather.
Wow.
A man gave a fake name to a sheriff's deputy to avoid being arrested, but it turns out that the name that he gave was the name of a man who was not supposed to be driving.
Wow.
Congrulians.
Congratulations, mother. Florida, man. Oh my god. Oh god. Woman tells jail officials she doesn't know how drugs got into her genitals. A woman caught with several pills in a plastic bag in her genitals told jail officials that she didn't know how the drugs got there. Dusty Ray Ingram, I love their names, a 38-year-old Crestview woman, was being processed into the Okaloosa County Jail January 5th when a strip search uncovered the drugs. She told officials what the drugs were and that she had a prescription for them. She said she keeps the pills in her purse and is unsure how they got from the purse into her genitals. After being read her rights, Ingram admitted that she did not know she was not allowed to bring the pills into the jail. She was charged with introducing contraband into the... That's kind of sad, though. Like,
yeah.
She has a fucking prescription for medication and they won't let her take her meds in jail? Fuck.
Yeah, that's pretty shitty.
America! If your prison systems, if any country does not allow people to take their fucking prescribed medications while incarcerated, you need to change that now. People can die.
Well, I'm assuming that stuff that's like going to cause people to die because of something like. But
no, but
I'm assuming that it's the kind of stuff that people would take to get high, basically.
Oh, no, fair enough. Okay.
Like, I'm assuming that they don't let people take Valium in prison.
No, but I'm just saying, like, we gotta keep the volume down. I'm very sorry. I seem to forget how.
But at the same time, it's like the whole point of prison is supposed to be to rehabilitate people, not just to make them go away forever. So.
Okay, like, there's something that's really sick about our prison systems in, well, anywhere. Now, there's this tendency for the victims and people who aren't even victims, who have never had an encounter with criminals, who will say that prison is where people go to suffer for their sins. And is that really true at all? Is that right? I mean, for Christ's sakes, okay. I mean, certain people are never really going to get better.
But those people are far and few between in terms of the number of people actually in prison.
Some people commit a crime. It's a crime of passion. It's something that happens in a moment and they regret it for the rest of their life. And they don't get a chance. They may stay in jail for so long to the point that they become dependent on it and they can't function in society because society doesn't let them function. We make it damn sure it's hard as hell for them to get any kind of job, and if they do, then they're just treated like they're subhuman. it's just messed up. And for anything, for like drugs, like for possession of drugs, you can go to jail for, well, I don't know, a year or 2, whatever. But that goes in your record. That fucks up your ability to get a job. And that's like, you honestly fucking blame people for taking. Society is as cold and fucked up as this, that's their only escape. Don't you realize that in some ways they were driven to it? I'm not saying that they are victims necessarily, but for something like that, it's about rehabilitation. We should treat them like people who need to be helped, not people who need to be punished. You put them in jail to keep them away from the rest of people, to stop the people who have killed someone from killing somebody else, to stop the rapist from raping again or whatever. It's maybe we want to be passionate about it, and maybe we're too impassioned by our hatred for these people and want them to die, but that's an individual thing. As a society, we don't do that, right? That's another matter for another day. Anyway, I
kind of broke the video by trying to fix the delay between the video and the audio.
That's cool, as long as there's still audio. My point is though, like, okay, the medication, like, if it's the sort of thing you can get high on, then I'd say absolutely, I understand that you wouldn't want that getting into prison. But if it's her, like, I don't know, antidepressants or her fucking blood pressure pills or some shit, that you should be able to fucking keep that. Like, you rob someone of that and, like, what, think, oh, this person deserves to have a heart attack in prison because she was drunk driving once. Yes, okay, fine, whatever. That's just as sick. My opinion is, like, how can you possibly think you're above somebody if you actually want somebody to suffer for a crime? Now, I can understand the argument for the death penalty in terms of murderers and serial murderers and serial rapists, whatever. That's another matter for another day. But for minor crimes that it's not about suffering, because simply being locked up in a box away from society is already a pretty poignant pretty serious form of suffering. So why do you have to fucking take away the necessities of their ability to actually function? Anyway, we're rambling. I'm rambling. Should we read more Florida Man or something else?
I don't know. I feel like we've kind of become too serious for Florida Man now.
Maybe that's exactly why we need Florida Man. Florida Man fired from Burger King. Walks outside and sets uniform on fire. That's just sad. Florida Bond villains are the worst Bond villains. Live shark found in condo swimming pool.
Florida burglar killed by alligator when fleeing deputies. A Florida man on the prowl to burglarize homes was eaten by an alligator after fleeing deputies, according to the Brevard County Security Service Sheriff's. The sheriff's office said that the 22-year-old Matthew Riggins of Palm Bay, Florida, whose body was discovered in Barefoot Bay Lake on November 23rd, drowned as a result of the alligator attack. During the recovery of Riggins' body, sheriff dive team members encountered a large alligator aggressively approaching the area where the body was located. Due to trauma observed on the body, a Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission trapper was called, and an alligator approximately 11 foot in length was trapped and euthanized because, just fucking, this alligator killed a person, now it has to die, even though it's probably not going to kill anyone else ever again, and it's just that man's stupidity.
I'm sick of this whole thing, like, destroy a dog because it ripped someone apart and its owner gets off fucking scot-free. The fucking owner should suffer for the fucking crime, motherfucker. I don't mean suffer, they should be fucking prosecuted. People mistreat animals, and I'm talking right now about dogs and shit. Like, people will have dogs because they're intimidating and they won't even train them at all. They will pretty much train them to rip a man's throat out if they're that fucked up, or they would just, just want something that looks big and angry so they can intimidate people, and that's fucked up. Then the dog gets killed because it rips something apart, or because the owner let it off its leash. That's one matter. When it's a fucking alligator, which is a fucking wild animal, I mean, seriously, guys, the thing
not to mention that this guy was running away from police because he was trying to rob people's homes and trying to hide in the swamp where alligators live.
Dumb, very dumb. I mean, no, it's like, its natural inclination is to look for food, and especially if a man fucking trips over it, snap his fucking leg off, you know, chomp him into bits, whatever the fuck it did. Like, you can't charge a wild animal of a crime. You can't charge an animal of murder and sentence it to death. You just say, all right, well, cool. Here you go, alligator. Alligator, stay in the wild. You know, whatever. But, then...
Like, the most annoying part about this is that they pretty much had to track down which alligator it was.
What?
In order to kill it. Like, it wasn't just there.
Or did they kill it?
And found it
No,
after
wait.
wait.
Did they kill it so that they could get, like, body parts out of the stomach so they could be properly buried or something? Because that might have been it.
That's still a shitty reason.
It is. No, but I mean, like, if you have... Killing an animal because somebody's gone missing and you want to figure out if they've been murdered or not by an alligator.
I think it was pretty obvious that he died of an alligator attack if his body was...
Yeah, but they found his body, but I'm talking about in the case of, like, say a child goes missing and the last place they were seen is near a bayou. I don't know. Yeah, okay. It's a totally different issue, and like cutting open every alligator within sight, it seems like a drastic solution for anything, but anyway, no, I was originally going to say, I was like, oh, that's a shame, the guy got eaten by an alligator. Oh, okay, he was a burglar, whatever. But no, honestly, the guy was going to be shot by the cops anyway. They're going to have gunned him down, right?
Well, to be honest, if he had just not been an idiot and just given himself in because he was already caught at that point,
but he was clearly
right
an idiot, so they would have probably shot him. Or if they didn't shoot him, they would have just, whatever. I don't know. Yeah, I tar people with the same brush, but I'm sure there's plenty of cops out there who don't shoot to kill when someone runs away from them. That's a depressing issue. Why the hell does every fucking article we read end up really fucking depressing? Florida man.
Let's just stay away from Florida man for the rest of the night. Florida man is not what we need right now.
Yeah. Florida man spends $146,000 on Powerball tickets, wins pretty much nothing. That stands by itself. This is depressing.
Yep.
Every one of these is depressing. They're not funny. Who
what
actually
happened
finds
to Florida
these funny?
Man since the last time we did a show?
Who finds...
Why are we looking at the camera that doesn't work?
Oh, nice. Who finds these things funny? I mean, that's just Schadenfreude. You know, he's just like jerking off to other people's misfortune. I don't care if they were idiots. Okay, he was a dumbass. Like, he spent $146,000 on lottery tickets. That's moronic. You have $146,000 and you spend it on Powerball? That's gambling. I don't feel sorry for the man, but still. Come on, it's not funny. Fucking hell. What are we doing?
Still reading Florida Man articles for some reason.
Well, why don't we steer away from that? Maybe there's time for a change of segment. I think, okay, how about this? No, that's too serious for now. How about something that's a bit of a look up? You know, something positive. Okay. Something positive. Yeah. Something positive and optimistic for a depressing time.
Do you have something then? Is it one of the articles?
Would you like to read it or would I?
You can read it.
Okay. I have an article. It is that one. Scientists use synthetic skin to test box jelly sting remedies. Once again, fucking horrible.
Yeah.
Title. Come on, guys. Use a few more words and actually make sense.
Just make it less clunky.
I know. Like, there's ways to do this.
I do like the subtitle though. Seriously, stop peeing on jellyfish stings, you heathens.
Like, synthetic skin provides potential remedy to box jelly stings. Or to stings caused by... Fuck it. I'm never gonna be a fucking...
It has to be a
journalist.
pun. It has to have alliteration in it.
Seriously, stop peeing on the jellyfish stings, you heathens. Oh god. Box jellyfish kill more people worldwide each year than sharks. That's why a team of researchers from the university at... I'm taking the damn headphones off, which is a shame because I love the music. Box jellyfish kill more people worldwide each year than sharks. That's why a team of researchers at the University of Hawaii Manoa, I don't know how to pronounce that little accent, are working to develop an effective first aid treatment for the jelly's deadly toxins. They're trying just about everything. From the popular myth of urinating on stings to vinegar and hot water immersions and commercial cures like Sting No More, no remedy out of bounds. But how do you test these treatments without trying them on humans? You make your own synthetic skin, obviously. What we needed were innovative models that would allow us to test how different options might affect the severity of a sting without putting anyone at risk. Angel Yanagihara, lead author of the paper, said in a statement. So, we designed a set of experiments using live stinging tentacles and live human red blood cells, which allowed us to pit first aid measures against one another. The team wound up suspending red blood cells across an agarose gel, covered them with lanolin rubbed sterile porcine intestine for the experiment. In the end, the team found that immersing stings in a vinegar hot water solution was the most effective homebrew solution. People think ice will help jelly because jelly stings burn and ice is cold, said Christy Wilcox, a postdoctoral fellow at Jabsom who assisted with the study. But research to date has shown that all marine venoms are highly heat sensitive. Dozens of studies, including our recent work, have shown that hot water immersion leads to better outcomes than ice. Urinating on stings reportedly accomplishes nothing aside from getting the wound all pissy. That's the article. Was not as interesting as I thought. But hey...
Well, I mean, I guess it is pretty interesting that people are starting to not test things on animals for no reason.
Synthetic skin, that's a good thing. Well, think about it though, they used a porcine intestine, they cut the pig out.
Well, yeah.
The
but
pig
you
was
could
already
have grown
dead.
the intestine or something. And
Oh, they don't have the fucking funding for that, man. Who has the fucking funding for that?
Yeah, at the moment.
No, that's innovative. The pig was dead already. It was already
somebody's
somebody's bacon.
one that was going to be made into bacon or something. Anyway,
it was already somebody's fucking.
It's definitely an
cholesterol.
improvement. So.
It was already somebody's fucking heart attack inducing breakfast. By the way, bacon for breakfast. Oh, I know it's nice, but Jesus fucking Christ, what the hell, man? Like, why would you have that every fucking morning or every other morning? Like, why would anyone do that?
Or at all, to be honest.
If you love something, then why the fuck do you want to eat it every day and reduce it to something incredibly mundane?
Yeah, that's a good point. You just savor it. Only have it ever so often.
I know, right? That's how it works, man. Anyway, well, it's alright. I think it works, but whatever. What now? Well, okay. So, I think we should put more money into stem cell research. And you can actually, there's incredible things you can do. You can actually, I remember watching this documentary a while ago, and I think it's not that they grew organs from stem cells, but they took an organ that it was already existing, animal organs, I think, and they cleared out the stem cells using some kind of processed solution. So what remained was a neutral cell structure.
It was like a sort of collagen type structure that you could go another.
And then they implanted it with stem cells that were compatible with the person they would fucking implant it into. So they could essentially change the blood type of an organ, I think. Something like that. It was so long ago though. But that is interesting. That's the sort of thing we should be putting money into. Like,
I remember hearing something similar about the idea of 3D printing the collagen substructure and then growing the stem cells onto that, so you can create one from nothing.
Interesting. And of course, they can now 3D print guides for neurons to follow, and imbue them with chemicals. Which
when are we going to be able to 3D print people?
It's not so much about as when as what. Should we?
I don't know why that would be a thing that you would do, but it would be interesting to do it to prove that it's possible.
I absolutely think that we should improve medical research. We can give people grafts. We can people who have missing limbs. There's no limit to the amount.
But what about like that Russian guy who's going to have the first ever head transplant? So
Serious?
3D print my new body instead of taking a donor's body.
What the fuck?
Yeah, there's a Russian guy that's going to have the first ever head transplant and probably going to be completely paralyzed from the neck down and then die very shortly afterwards.
Why, and also how, and is that even possible? Is this just like, I want the first ever head transplant?
Well, he's suffering from some fatal disease and is pretty much going to die no matter what.
How
unless
can they
he gets
fucking
this
3D print a body? Like, have they tried that in practice? Have we actually?
Well, what they're actually going to do is they're going to take a donor's body of someone who's just died and then transplant his head onto it. But what I'm saying
that's not going to work.
What about if we manage to get that to the point where it's actually feasible, and then we start 3D printing bodies for people instead of using donor bodies?
Well, that's entirely possible, but the disease, isn't it genetic? Why would
I can't remember what it is.
Like, why would it affect only his body and not his head and his brain? Either way, the point is, I think we should be able to graft new limbs onto people who have missing limbs, improve their organs or whatever, modify ourselves. I don't think it should be too much of an ethical
Russian man
issue.
to undergo the first head to body transplant. Doctors seem to be a step closer to performing a breakthrough surgery, transplanting a human head onto another body. A Russian man with a rare genetic muscle wasting disorder has volunteered to be the first to try the procedure. I'm very interested in technology and anything progressive that might change people's lives for the better, he said. He is a 30-year-old qualified computer scientist who works for an IT firm. He said that his disease is getting worse every year, and usually people with whatever it is that I can't pronounce, Werning-Hoffman disorder, a disease that wastes muscles, don't live longer than 20 years. So it would be a chance to prolong his life and help scientific research and progress. And the process, rather. Doing this isn't only an excellent opportunity for me, but will also create a scientific basis for future generations, no matter what the actual outcome of the surgery is. So yeah.
Now, I wonder about that, because at first I was like, that's not going to work, but the Russians did this in fucking,
Yeah, it's been done to animals before.
Ages ago.
The only thing is that he is probably going to die pretty soon afterwards, and he's going to be completely paralyzed from the neck down. So
yeah,
maybe he won't die, but he will definitely be paralyzed.
I mean, I get how they can graft the blood vessels, but how the fuck do they, like, the spinal column?
You just don't, basically.
Like, are they going?
I mean, you need to get the bare minimum working so that your heart keeps going and shit. But
I mean, they would actually have to remove his entire nervous system from his body, not just his spinal cord, but including all the autonomic ganglia down the spine, and every offshoot of every nerve into every tissue. And unless you can figure out how to get them, like, okay, you keep the main nerves intact, and then you transplant them back in, and you can figure out how to get the nerves to fucking grow, but they're never going to reassociate with the correct muscles. It's just not possible yet, or ever. It's just a stupid way to do it. Well, it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, we just have to try and find a way cure to the disease, but is there one? I don't know. You see, it's a difficult issue. And I don't know. I think the guy's gonna die, but he's desperate, right? Oh my god.
You aren't doing it wrong if no one knows what you're doing.
Yes. That's pretty good. Lovely, glorious. Good to see the chat is lively as ever. Thank you, Fishy, for your delightful spamming. Some people may be infuriated by this sound. That sound.
It is the song of my people.
It is indeed, isn't it? MX Blues. But I don't make very much noise with my little laptop.
You could have brought your keyboard.
I thought about it, and then thought, no, I think one keyboard clicking up a storm is enough. 2 is going to kill it. Sides, I don't mind using this little board thing. I'm not like neurotic to the point that I can't use scissor switches or a rubber dome. I just don't like it using the ones that are, well, other people's rubber domes. Have you ever been to like a library or your college computer place, lab, whatever, library with all the computers and shit. And have you ever actually just looked at the fucking keyboards that people are typing on? Oh my god. I've seen people use these things.
Yeah, they're pretty horrific.
Thinking. You can see this secretion of this just gunk all over it. Human
I hate
matter.
when they have key shine because they feel so slippery and
They
horrible.
not only
It's
have
just,
key shine. They don't only have key shine in the center where people's fingers are, but around the edges they have this like off-white substance built up. And oh god, I saw something that looked like fucking earwax on one of the scroll wheels on one of the mouse.
Oh yeah, the horrible rubbery grey scroll wheels that you get on those mice collect all kinds of gunk. It's just
when
disgusting.
I fucking realized that, I just like I went away, I washed my hands, and I just like I was suddenly crazily germophobic. I came back, found some wet wipes, and just cleaned off the mouse. And I was in CAD, so I didn't need to do very many keyboard shortcuts. I just typed, pushed the buttons of a pen cap. But when you're in the library, you kind of have to just bite the bullet. I had considered putting a plastic bag over the entire keyboard and just typing on it through that, but that would attract quite a bit of attention.
Imagine the noise it would make.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be rustling away, and people would look at me. The other solution is to bring latex gloves and put them on, and just and then they're just like people are looking and just like the noise the latex gloves makes when you put it on your hand, and then people see you just like wearing these like fucking serial killer gloves typing. But do I really give a shit what other people think? The other alternative is to bring a keyboard, but now I have the MX screens, which would
I would bring this to a library and flaunt it. I don't care if it's meant to be quiet.
Then you get the woman coming along going shh really loudly. And dirty looks. I don't care. I'd love to.
And then I'd beat her to death with my camera that weighs like a kilo.
Yeah, it's lovely to know that you're into the peaceful resolutions too. Anyway,
there is no peace in libraries.
I would even just bring my own rubber dome, just so I don't have to use one. But I mean, I got clears, and now if you've been on like our mechanical keyboards on Reddit, it's pretty much like everybody says like, oh, clears are the best for work because they're still tactile and yet they're quiet. And it's like, no, they're not quiet. They're loud as balls.
Yeah.
They don't click, but they are still fucking loud. Not even just clackiness, just the actuation and just pushing the keys lightly is loud. I'm gonna sell my code. I have one code of clears, and I just don't like it. And
I'll need to save up and buy it from you.
Yeah, maybe if you want. But do you really like them that much? I don't think they're very nice.
I'm quite fond of them actually.
Really?
Yeah.
I was fond of them for a while, but I realized I just don't like them enough to justify having them. I hate the stock keys; they're disgusting, and I'm not gonna go dropping £100 or whatever on a fucking set of plastic from DS.
Gwen is now watching and complaining that we didn't notify her more correctly.
How would I notify you correctly? I actually... Just because Telegram didn't give you the notification doesn't mean that I didn't highlight you.
Yeah, this is the thing, right? We gave you a notification. If you didn't get it, that's not our fault.
No,
pay attention to the chat.
It's a problem with Telegram. What you would have had is if you had your computer on and you were actually looking at it, in your taskbar you would have seen a little number. Or if you have notifications turned off... Oh, yeah.
Oh, of course. Complaining about Telegram.
I'm sorry. We're sorry, Gwen.
Anyway, the show's recorded. I'm going to put it on YouTube.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's true. If I ever get another keyboard, though, it will be a poker with reds. And a poker will just sit right on top of this little laptop I have.
I don't know. I think I would like reds less than clears.
I think I'd like them more, because sometimes I really do think that the actuation point gets in the way.
Mm-hmm.
And they would be quieter. And if I had some sound dampeners, I might be able to actually get them to just be relatively quiet. They'd still make noise. It's inevitable for them to make noise, but they'd make about as much noise as a regular laptop keyboard.
Yeah. I'm not sure what... I'd like to try some of the Alps clicky keys, actually, but they're hard to get.
I've never tried that. The other alternative is topers. I mean, I get the engineering that's gone into them, and they're really actually expensive, actually. But oh god, like you're just basically over-engineering a membrane keyboard into individual switch rubber domes. Ugh, why? I mean, I guess they're a bit firmer than rubber domes. They have a conical spring, but they're still just spongy. Like, why would you want that? I've never tried one, but still, it's just, well, to each their own. But, whatever.
Nuclear Wasteland Simulator 2015. Interesting.
Nice. What is that?
Fallout 4, I'm guessing.
Of course. Now what do you think of the game Fallout 4?
I haven't played it in ages. I liked it until I finished it, and then it was just the have to.
It felt like a job for me. I play it like an accountant, you know.
Like, I enjoyed discovering everything, but I've pretty much discovered everything there is to discover, and so
I pretty much had to have a reason to go in any direction. So I'd have to wait until I got a quest that told me you had to go to the other end of the fucking map and face the dragons there. You know, but I played it like an accountant because I was constantly looking for junk because I was more interested in modifying my weapons. I was like, damn, I really need to get to rank like 50 or whatever it is where you get level 4, rank 4 gun mods so I can put a suppressor on my automatic combat rifle. And it's just like, and then as I was constantly looking for, hauling back typewriters to my base, you know, just like for the screws, just to... You know,
Give me all your screws.
Micromanaging all of the bullshit and barely taking enough time to actually enjoy it. And I get that it's a vibrant, wonderful sort of thing with all this stuff in it, but I played too much of it. It just took over my life. I like games that I can just drop into, and it doesn't have to be like it can just be enjoyable just to play, because just walking around for me doing random crap is not enjoyable. With, for example, something like Elite Dangerous, it's the kind of thing that I haven't gotten to the stage that is really a grind yet. But just flying a spaceship and just going through hyperdrive and just doing anything, it's so immersive. Like, even the sounds and everything you're looking at is just so interesting, and it feels almost real. So, that's the kind of game that you can actually play it. And while Fallout 4, I did actually get into character, and the character I designed, the character I came up with was basically just secretly hated the life that he had sort of found himself trapped in, and after his wife died, he didn't really feel anything except for sort of resentment for whoever took away something that belonged to him, and he just sort of became this sort of dead inside thing, and he killed... He would do, masquerade as being a nice person on the surface, and then occasionally just create an act of evil, pure evil against an innocent person.
Do you know what I just realised? I could upload the first part of this episode just now because it's its own file.
Good for you. He would commit acts of evil against completely innocent individuals who had done no harm to him, just to see if he would feel anything. And that's okay, that's kind of depressing. Like, what? Like, I was trying to mod the thing so I could just kill anybody, whether they were a protected character or not, just because I wanted the freedom. And I realized that's a dark fucking game. I don't like that character. I don't like what I'm doing with that. Elite Dangerous, I can just pretend that I'm, just a marauding...
Just try a pacifist run at Fallout 4.
What?
A pacifist run at Fallout 4.
No, that's ridiculous. I never really understood pacifist runs. No, I think Elite Dangerous is the kind of thing where I can play it, and I can just imagine that I'm this marauding starship pilot trying to find out what the fuck he's doing, and maybe just, like, it's the kind of thing where you don't think about combat. You get to you first start off and you're like all crazy and jerking around, jerky movements, and you suck at maneuvering, and you think too much, and it gets in the way of what you're actually doing, and you're thinking, oh shit, I hope I don't do that, what do I have to do next, blah blah blah, and then just eventually you reach the stage where you don't think about it at all. It just becomes second nature. You're playing, you know where the buttons are, you know how to make your fire groups elegant, and you put pips into your different systems as you need them without even really thinking about it, and then you just focus on your maneuvering, and you're flying and where you are and staying one step ahead of your opponent, and that's it. That's the elegance of it, and that's something that can only really come from something that's very immersive. So that's the kind of game I like to play. So what about you? How is it for you with these sort of what is gaming to you?
I don't know. I don't game a lot.
No?
I prefer more arcadey stuff that I can just sort of pick up and put down whenever I want because it's quite fun to
like
do that.
that
so.
stuff too. Yeah, like with I got to the stage where I was like, I mean, I never used to play video games. Like I used to pretty much never play video games. And then I get to a point where I was just playing them constantly, and it's like, it's too much. This is frustrating. I hate this. And then then sometimes, you know, you find a new game. Like the first time I played Elite, it was like I just played it all weekend for hours. You know, just constantly playing it, and it's just like, well, this isn't good. You know, you need to treat it with some kind of respect as an experience that can become immersive, where you can just step outside of yourself for a little while and forget, and then come back to it later. And so, like, I like arcade style stuff. Well, Duck Game is my favorite thing there, because it's just fun. You know, you just drop in and I have no fucking clue what I'm doing, and everybody else is just they're so good at it. They just know where all the guns are immediately. They know just exactly what to do. They can fall through the air and just fire their bullet, and it hits you right at the time, just the right time.
Occasionally, there'll be a game that comes along that has like a really rich, well-developed world with a really awesome backstory that's just really immersive, and I enjoy playing it for a long period of time. But I don't like dedicating a lot of my time to games because I feel like I'm not doing enough other stuff.
I agree.
And if I can't dedicate my time to that sort of game, then I feel like I'm not playing it right. I don't enjoy it as much.
I know what you mean. I think I like the kind of game which is, there's a story if you want it, but like, take this world for example. Unless you take a history class, you don't know the fucking backstory of this world. You know, you just get your day-to-day grind, and rarely is anybody actually going to tell you a story about something that happened. You know, you're a stranger here, so people pretty much ignore you. They ignore you because, you know, that's how it is. So in a game, I like to feel like a stranger in a game. In Elite Dangerous, you never see anybody. I mean, I haven't got Horizons, which apparently they're going to allow you to get out of your ship and stuff and go down to the surface of planets.
I think I'd feel better about that sort of deep game with a lot of lore and awesome world building and stuff if they were sort of social games where I was still interacting with people and stuff instead of just closing away in my own little place.
Okay, I used to be into, I say into, but I used to be pretty much addicted to World of Warcraft. I played it, and my immediate reaction before I actually ever played it was that, oh, that's pathetic, it's sad, who does that, who doesn't have a life and does that? And then I played it, and I basically played it for hours and hours every day. It fucked up my sleep cycle, and I just, you know, it's like playing it till 5 a.m. or whatever, and it's just like, oh my god, this is sick, you know? It's because it's such a huge world, and it's such a fucking grind. Just to get to level 10 to get your, or 20 to get your first fucking mount or whatever, you're talking like, I don't know, a week of just, or weeks of constant playing. And it was supposed to be fun, because a couple of my friends played it, but we never really got together and actually played, so I ended up playing it alone most of the time. And, I think a bear has entered the room.
Oh. Kitty! Okay, bye then.
The bear has wandered off. Okay. The World of Warcraft, it was just horrible and consumed my time, and everybody was so mean. I met a couple of really nice people. I think I met like one person who I actually had conversations with, and he was actually a nice person. But I also had a bunch of people. People are so horrible. I like a game where you can just jump in and learn what you're doing. But World of Warcraft, when I tried to play like PvP or whatever, or dungeons, you start and like the only space available is a tank, and I don't know what a tank is. And then everybody just kicks you and spits vitriol at you for not knowing how to do it. I don't like that kind of game because it wants you to grind away. And sure, there's a vibrant story, and it helps you escape from your life. But it feels like a job, and it just feels like this world. You know, it just feels like you're expected to just. I don't want everything easily, and I'm okay with a little bit of grind, but it's like, it just, to me, it has a very horrible atmosphere for it. Like 10 million people. I was watching
a video earlier about dwarf fortress, and actually I really like the idea that like when it generates the world at the start of the game, it generates the whole world, and it simulates like geological progression of the world and the way that all the minerals and everything grow. And I really like the idea of having a world procedurally generated like that you can just go and explore. But Dwarf Fortress has a really steep learning curve and is a very ugly game.
Oh yeah.
So
no, the thing is like with Elite Dangerous, like I said, it's a very impersonal game, and I guess a lot of people wouldn't like that, but you can play it with friends, and I would love to. I really would. I'd love to actually play it where I can fight as a part of a group. I'm not ready for that, but to have, you know, your wingman, whatever, you have people, you know, flanking you or whatever, you know, flanking the enemy or whatever. You can take people from different angles and you can coordinate and work as a team. But for me, it's very impersonal. And like, I want, you know, there's no rich backstory. You are in a vast universe, and you know almost nothing about the factions that there exist. And we're expected to take allegiance with one or the other, and yet there's so little to actually know about them. And I go to missions and like, I used to think, I used to have a fondness for a certain system, LTT 15574, or wait, yeah, that exactly. And there was like this station called Yapping Dock, and I thought that's really nice, but like the missions and shit are just so impersonal. They all come across as evil, and yet they all the small stations hold out their hands for charity, which of course you can't really do at first. My point is, at the moment it's a very impersonal game. It seems like everybody is out to get to you. You never, unless you actually play with friends, nobody wants to help you, and it's Darwinian. But you can kind of feel not just alone, but I think you can feel a semblance of the loneliness that you would be feeling if you were in a world like that, where you rarely ever leave your spaceship. You'd rarely ever need to, and people treat you like a stranger when you wander in, because you are a stranger. And I think I like that about a game, because it's impersonal and it mirrors life in a way, and yet it allows you to appreciate what you have in life. It's bleak, but I like that in a game. And same with it. Actually, I like Killing Floor 2 a lot more in terms of that's a game where you can, or Killing Floor, the original one, that's a game where you can really tell when people are present, where they're out for themselves or where they're out to help you out, because there can be a very much of a sense of camaraderie in that game.
I quite enjoyed playing it in the LAN.
Yeah. Now I like Killing Floor 2 better now. I used to love just Killing Floor, and it's still a great game, but Killing Floor 2 is a bit more immersive and a bit more bloody difficult. But at the same time,
how quiet it is now. Like, there's no computer noise around in the background. When you stop talking,
nothing.
It's just silence.
And
there's no in the background when we're talking or anything. It's just
it's good. Yeah.
And I just noticed that there's so much different than it used to be.
Yeah, it used to be just like constant whirring and whining. We had
all the heat of all the computers.
We had
and
to
just monitors everywhere, and well,
now,
I guess we have probably about the same number of monitors, but
now we're running everything with one computer. But yeah, now some games have a sense of teamwork, and Killing Floor 2 was one of those where people seem coordinated. You can always tell when someone isn't pulling their weight, when they go off their own and they get killed, or they know that they don't get bull rushed by monsters when they're out on the edges of the map where there's hardly anything there, or whatever, or if they're just not very good, or if they're a medic and they're not even doing their job to heal people, because then you die, your team gets butchered. You know, if just one person is just not pulling their weight, then it's all over. And of course, this is one of these games where certain people are just better and they just get more money, and either they hoard their money to themselves because they want to afford the best gun, or they can actually give the cash to the person who really needs it and who has nothing. So that's one of these games which has teamwork, and I enjoy that kind of game. But sometimes you do need to feel like you're just alone in a harsh, miserable universe, and yet you're in a spaceship and you can gun people down. It's just cool. Anyway, maybe we should change the subject to something less solemn.
I've actually been live for quite a long time. Don't know how long we want to keep going.
I think
almost
we should
2 hours now.
do like one more break. This is a song we haven't played.
Well, technically,
There's a lot of songs we haven't played.
there's a song that I want to really play.
And there's a song that I really want to play. So
mine's is actually like 3 or 4 songs, and it's 10 minutes long. But it doesn't work if you don't play the first 3 together. So
okay, that sounds interesting. But what do you want to do? Do you want to just end the show on that?
What we could do is we could end the show now and then come back and still talk about stuff for a while.
Yeah, and that could be more
Just have a
casual.
break.
Okay, so do you want to play my song, which is just one song first, or your song, which is in sort of a saga?
We'll play my song first,
And then we play mine at the end
and then
because
we'll play yours at
it's
the end.
short and.
But they're not going in the recording anyway, so.
Okay, right. Well, thank you all for tuning in to Fenrir Media. No, thank you all for tuning in to Fenrir Rebooted.
Should I edit the thing because I've. But yeah.
It's okay, man. Well, yeah. Thank you all for tuning into Fenrir Rebooted. We have been very awkward today, but it doesn't matter. You'll start to hear a bit of
we've done pretty well considering how long it was since last time we did a show.
It's less neurotic and overplanned than the last time. The last one was. So, we'll be seeing you again soon. Maybe from a slightly different setup, but
it'll be much the same as what it is
situation
now,
remains
but
the
it'll
same.
be slightly different. We'll sort of tweak it around a bit.
either way,
So.
we've enjoyed. I hope you've enjoyed the evening, and take it easy, guys, or some equivalent closing bit. What the fuck do I say? Like,
I don't know.
does take it easy really reflect what the stuff we've been fucking talking about?
No.
It doesn't, does it? Take it very, very seriously, and yet, well...
Take it very seriously, but don't get depressed.
Yeah. As miserable and much of a grind as this world may seem...
You can always come back and listen to us next week.
You can always come back. And you just have to remember that as low as you can get, the only thing we have in our capacity to do is sort the rubies from the chaff. Just sort through all that mundane crap.
But what if I don't want
the
rubies? What if I
agony.
want sapphires?
Well, there are sapphires in there too. They're a little harder to find maybe, but they're there. All kinds of gems and things that aren't even gems, and it's there. You just have to do a lot of digging. Anyway, maybe you should say something like to end.
Why'd I need to end? We were about to end and now you've just made it awkward.
Okay, thanks.